What's going on, y'all? This your boy, Chris Simmons, coming to you with another podcast episode. And as always, I'm with my partner in crime, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Miss Sandra Cruz. What's going on with your girl? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Sitting here in my home, well, not my hometown. I can't say it's my hometown, but in my town, sitting in the art district. Just I was working a little bit. Now we on this podcast, ready for this week's um episode.
You already know what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Last week, yeah, we was on Yo segment. So for those of you who didn't see that, go check that out. It's on Sandra's Instagram page at Complete Confidence Coaching. And then the week before that, so if you didn't
Yeah.
see a post on Spotify or on YouTube, it's because I did my 110th episode live on my Instagram. So if you have not checked that out, go check that out right now. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot of great uh insight on that topic. The title of the topic was It's a Dog Fight. We talked about It's a Dog Fight and had a lot of great nuggets in there. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it was because I need y'all to go check that episode out right now. You know what I'm saying? So that was why like there was no post on Spotify or YouTube because it was live. But we back on the recording. You know what I'm saying? I figure I'll put some out there on Spotify for those of you who are my spot, on Spotify, like to listen to it through there or like to watch the YouTube. We're gonna have something good for y'all today. But nah, man, I've been for me personally, everything's been going pretty smooth. I've been doing quite a bit of traveling lately. Well, I did travel last week to Boston for a little bit, went there for a little quick trip, came back, and then this Friday through the weekend, me and my girl, we're going to Charlotte. I've never been to Charlotte, so we're gonna check that out, see what's going on in the city. So I'm very excited for that. Looking forward to having some great barbecue and just some fun experiences. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. So your boy definitely going places. We move with a purpose, right? That's the theme for this year is move with a purpose. So hopefully, um, your year has gotten off to a great start, and hopefully you guys are moving with a purpose and doing things, for a purpose. So that's what I hope. That's what I hope y'all are doing this year. Um, but anyway, we still on a 40-minute plan because I still am resistant to getting the Zoom Pro because I don't feel like I want to pay a monthly fee just to get extra time. So we still on the Zoom plan. Might have to continue, might have to do more live episodes to where we can get more time, but it's all good. It's all good because I know how to move with a purpose. Come on, somebody. So again, we're gonna get straight into the topic. And I really came up with this topic, man, because I've been thinking about a lot of things that I want to happen in my life, and especially this year and the years, down the line. Is For me personally, I don't know if you guys know, but I have a new Instagram page out there called Big Boss Training. So if you want to follow me at big.boss training. And the whole idea behind that was, because I felt like for me, I wanted to get more involved with fitness. You guys know I like to work out and work out every day and keep my body healthy and keep myself in good shape. And so back when I had got laid off in November, I did a lot of reflection and did a lot of thinking during that time. And I felt like that put me in a place to where I had to decide, okay, what is the next direction in my life? Now I'm not working this job no more. What am I going to be doing, going forward? And I always think about it as a blessing in disguise. And a lot of people and a lot of y'all might think like, man, like you getting laid off, like how is that a blessing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think what during that time, what a lot of us don't realize is that when something like that happens to where something comes to an end, there's always going to be a new beginning. So whatever you thought was your purpose, right? Whether it was in a job or whatever, you have to realize, you have to take the good that comes with it. You have to take the lesson that's in the loss. And that's what I decided to do. And I realized, like, you know what? I have this passion for fitness and I want to be able to eventually start my own fitness business, become an independent fitness trainer, right? And so, you know, stuff that I'm doing, to try to make that happen is one, trying to market myself, trying to put myself out here on social media, let people know that, I'm a certified personal trainer now, posting workouts, talking to different people who are already in the industry and can really help out with that. And what that's called is called Water and the Seed, right? Which is the title which is going to be the title. When I was coming up with titles, I figured I could talk about water and the seed, right? And what do I mean by that is, when you plant something in the ground, right? When you plant a seed in the ground, right, you have to make sure that you give it attention, right? So whether that's watering it, whether that means putting it in the soil where it gets the nutrients, right? Making sure that you check on it every single day, knowing when to water, knowing when to give it sunlight, right? When you want a plant to grow out of the ground, you have to give it attention every single day, and you have to, take it into account. And so, what do I mean by that is, when you talk about your own dreams, personal goals, or things you want to happen in your life, you got to give it attention every single day. Because if you don't give it attention, then it's not going to grow the way you want it to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because in order for anything to happen in your life, you have to put in work every single day. And it doesn't mean you have to accomplish it on that exact day. You don't have to have everything happen in one day. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about growth, when you think about a growth of a plant, it doesn't happen in one day. Like when you plant a seed, you ain't gonna see no plant grow like 10 feet high. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen in one day. It takes time. I remember like we had these neighbors when I was coming up, they had like uh planted these trees, and these trees were probably like 2 feet high. And I'm like, yo, you planting trees back here? They're like, oh yeah, see, in about 10 years, they're gonna be so high that you can't even see them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like looking at them like, for real? Like these trees gonna grow this big? And now I go back to my house. Them trees like 15, 20 feet. They're like big old pine trees that grew up from the ground. Because what happened was they decided to take them into account every single day. They were watering them. I saw them watering it, giving it proper soil. And so again, that's the same thing. That's the same process you have to do when you want your dreams to happen, when you want your goals to be able to come to life off that piece of paper. You have to give it attention every single day. And whether that's doing research, whether that's going out and talking to people who've already been in your space, whether that's taking about 30 minutes out your day to, you know, maybe read up on something, or, maybe go out and put something into place. Whatever that is, only you know what you need to do based off what your goal is, because everybody's goal is different. For me, I talk about my personal example of fitness. Like every day, like I said, like I make sure to come up with different workout plans, making sure that, I'm posting on social media, like to let people know that I'm out here, what I'm saying, talking to different people, trying to partner myself with different people that's been in the industry. So again, every single day, watering the seed, watering the seed, making sure that, I'm taking that into account every single day. So just something for y'all to think about, man. Like if you want growth to happen, you got to give it attention every single day, because it doesn't happen in one day. So, you know, I'm gonna let Sandra jump in here real quick. Real
Yeah,
quick.
I love this topic because this morning it's so funny. This morning, Chris, I was looking at some stuff because I'm writing up a description of my program. And it's funny that we have a percentage of Americans nowadays that really that suffer. We have about 65 million Americans suffering from depression, anxiety, loneliness, unhappy, um, poorly understood. They feel left out. And yet all these things tie into what we're talking about watering the seed, because not only are we talking about goals that we set on the table, but inner goals as well, because it's that inner environment that's going to change us and move us to want to water the seed, like you say. or want to water those things that we want to create. So, like for example, your training, personal training business, if you didn't work on it every day and didn't water it every day, you wouldn't get to where you want to be. There would be no results. And so people a lot of times ask themselves why they're not getting the results they want. Why isn't anything moving forward? Um, and most of the time it's because we as individuals, like we do everything out of habit. So like when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth as a habit, right? And so unfortunately we don't get the results we want because we're not making these things a habit. So we're not making watering that goal, that desire, a habit. And there are habits that we either do just subconsciously or because the external environment requires it, the external environment requires for me to park in a certain manner where I live. So now I know that because the building, which is an external a piece, wants me to park in a certain way, certain parking. So I do that every day, and it becomes a habit. So most of what I do is help people create habits, and I think that's key in order to watering that goal, or like you said, the seed. So if we don't water it every day, we become stagnant, and sometimes we wonder. So I think one of the biggest key factors is remembering once this becomes a habit and you water it every day, your dream is going to come true. And like I agree with you 100%. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it could take a week, it could take years, it could take months. The key here is to be persistent and consistent in watering it. That means if you take something small every single day. For example, I can tell you about my coaching business. Every single day I do something that works towards that goal. Okay. Whether it be covering my personal bills, whether it be working for my personal bills, or whether it be sitting down and working, you know, like you said, partnering with people, looking for the next best outlet so that people can know that there's a coaching program out there. And so, but every day when you take that step, you water it and it grows little by little. And some people, like you said, some people go, don't exert yourself. Don't overwork yourself to think that everything has to be done in one day because that's not so. So instead of looking at the bigger picture, take a look each day at the small steps that you can take to be able to get to that bigger goal. Because every day is not going to be the same. And sometimes you're going to feel like, have I gotten there yet? I haven't gotten there. Oh my gosh. But just remember, as long as you keep going towards your goal, and every day there's a small step towards getting there, you're working towards it. Don't give up. Be consistent and persistent is all I can say. I can't tell you how many times I thought, am I going to get there? Is this going to be? Because that's normal. But don't let that bring you down. You know, don't let that bring you down. Just know that your hard work is going to pay off. And you don't necessarily have, working hard doesn't necessarily mean 12 hours a day sitting there, forgetting to eat, not having a balanced life and frustrated 24/7 just to get your goal done is not what we're trying to say. What we're saying is work smarter. Work smarter towards your goal every single day. Like we said, water that seed that you've planted, and you'll see how far you get.
Yeah. I like how you brought up, the fact that you don't have to overexert yourself while doing this. Like, people again, like everybody works differently, but it doesn't necessarily mean when people say, "Oh, I work hard, I grind," like that don't necessarily mean like, they gotta sacrifice, giving up their sleep or their mental health to do it. Like I'm not a big firm believer. I used to be like on that to where it's like, oh yeah, you gotta stay up 23 hours a day. You gotta, not eat, you gotta forget to eat. Like, nah, like I ain't on that no more because again, you have to be in a place to where you're mentally able to focus. And sometimes when you sacrifice the most important things to your mental health and well-being, that's going to make it challenging for you to stay focused, right? And so that's why I talk about giving it attention every single day, like, being able to work in intervals to where it's like, okay, about you give yourself about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, you can you can walk, you can just be able to focus on one thing that's going to enhance whatever you're trying to do. It's like, for example, like I know a lot of people, well, there's quite a few people who like to try to run marathons. You've heard people, I've heard people talk about how they would love to, be able to run a marathon and things of that nature. It's like every single day, like you gotta be able to dedicate some time to training. You know what I mean? That don't necessarily mean like go out and kill yourself. Like, nah, don't do that because then you won't be able to run the marathon. It's like every day you wake up, maybe from 8 to 10 in the morning, you maybe dedicate that time to training. Maybe it's running two miles, maybe the first day, and then over time, maybe increase that, maybe the next day run 4 miles. You see what I'm saying? So not every single day you have to like do everything. Just build up to it. You know what I'm saying? Build up to it. Know what you have to start with in order for you to be able to continue to keep going forward and adding on to whatever it is you need to do. So
I wanted to add on to that because um, it, that point of overexerting yourself, when we get to that point, we don't have enough clarity up here to be able to function. And try it. I challenge you guys. Go ahead, work those 23 hours, work those 24 hours, and see how you feel the next day. There's no clarity, you don't eat correctly, and all of that. People may think that our inner environment, and oftentimes we don't connect to our inner environment or we don't tap into that. And our inner environment is so important. It needs to be a stable, well taken care of inner environment for us to be able to go forward to create these small habits of watering what we want every single day. If we're not in clarity, there's no way we're going to be able to think. I can tell you right now, let's see, just not yesterday, the night before yesterday, Monday night to Tuesday night, I didn't sleep anything. I couldn't sleep for some reason. And at 5 a.m., I was still tossing and turning. I took an hour nap, really. I started falling asleep at 7. By 8:30, I was up. I couldn't function throughout the day. Of course, I was there. I was doing what I needed to do. But I thought to myself, you want to know what? Today I have to take a mental day. Why? Because I wasn't functioning with clarity. I got a lot of things done that I was supposed to do in my house. But was I functioning with the mental clarity I needed to be able to drive? Because you guys know I do part-time Uber. Was I able to have I could and I started working on my course description, and I couldn't function. I couldn't. My mind was so garbled with tiredness, with everything, that I said, forget it. I put it away. I put it to rest. And I said, I'll pick it up in the morning. And you want to know what? This morning, it all came to me because I slept well, because I ate a balanced meal before starting, because I was able to take care of my inner me before getting started. I think that's one of the most important things that we need to do before we go into a goal. Tap into your inner environment. How is my inner environment doing? Am I prepared? Do I have enough clarity? A lot of times when we get that brain fog is because we're overworked. And so I, like you, Chris, don't agree with that. We have to work 24 hours. And it's funny because one time, I think it was on the Steve Harvey show, and I heard this before, where somebody had said something about successful people don't sleep. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they sleep 8 hours. So for me, I was kind of like, why are they putting this out here? I mean, I think that was the old version of us, or the old version, when I say us, old generation or old society, whatever you want to call it, where years back in the 80s, it was like, you got to work hard, you got to work 24 hours. That's how we get somewhere. And that's not so. That's not so. That's why I said it takes working smarter, not harder. And when you work smarter and you start to know these things, you start to know that what's most important is our inner environment, clarity, so that we can sit down and work smarter, get things done in a heartbeat with clarity, be able to go through the process, come out on the other end, and know what we've done is with intention, is with clarity, And we've done something today in this day to get closer to the goal where we want to be.
Mhm. There you go. I mean, that's plain and simple right there. Like, just taking your time with it. Like, really falling in love with the process. Because we sometimes, and even I'm guilty of this too, is where sometimes we want to see the result that we forget the steps we need to take during the process. You see what I'm saying? It's like one thing we have to do is enjoy the process because that's where you learn the most. You don't learn anything by achieving a result. You always learn through the process and the mistakes that you make. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where the real learning is. Because one day you're gonna look back once you get that result. I mean, you're gonna get it. But again, what did you learn from it? What did you take away from it? You see what I'm saying? So again, we got to put more emphasis on falling in love with the process. And that's what I mean when I say trust the process. You got to fall in love with it, right? You have to figure out what is your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because your why is going to carry you throughout the pain, throughout the hardships, right? You know, I heard a I heard a great analogy by Eric Thomas, and I used this voiceover for my recent post on my training page. Is where a lot of people, especially women, they love diamonds. It's just something about a diamond that that really attracts a woman's eye to really want to have one. When it comes to like diamond earrings or whatever, women love diamonds. But I don't think people understand how a diamond became a diamond. A diamond was basically had to be under extreme pressure and it had to get cut, right? A diamond is formed under extreme heat and pressure in order for it to be a diamond, and then it has to go through the cutting process in order for it to be able to be stable. Because once a diamond becomes a diamond, it's basically impossible to break. So I thought that was a great analogy because again, we have to have the resiliency to go through the pressure, right? Because you can't become what you want to be unless you go through pressure, unless you go through pain, because pain is a part of the process. And that's why sometimes, again, when we are going through our journeys, we can come to a standstill, or we want to turn back, or we just want to abandon it, because we go through a little pressure. And again, I'm trying to tell y'all, you need to embrace the pressure, right? You have to understand that this is what's coming with it. You know what I mean? It's not that you're not achieving anything. It means that there are some moments in your journey that you have to be like, okay, like you have to be more aware of. And again, it's all about readjusting. It's all about moving in different direction because the path to success is not a straight road. It's like it's a maze where you're gonna have to continue to keep finding different ways to get to the other side, right? So again, just knowing that, you have to really just enjoy the journey, and really be able to pick up like new things along the way. So, you know,
I wanna comment on you mentioned a couple of things that I absolutely 100% agree with, which is see the results. Like you said, some people fall in love with seeing just the results. And I took a 4-day workshop calling Scaling to Simplicity. This workshop was amazing because I applied everything, even personally. And one of the things she talked about was what you want is to create a legacy, not a commodity. And I took that in all terms. So when you do something, when you are in it just to see the results, like you said, you skew yourself, your vision gets skewed. You create it, you get like tunnel vision because now all of a sudden you're working towards, I just want to see result, I just want to see result. And that'll cause you to, like you said, skip some processes. It will cause you sometimes to undercut or go towards the goal in a way where it may give you some results, but not what you're looking for. And that's what she talked about in the 4-day workshop. She also said you have to remember your why. Why are you doing this? What is the outcome that you want? Um, and don't skip any of it. Like you said, fall in love with the process, meaning like what you do. And if it doesn't work one way, there's always another way where it's going to work. I always call that trying to find the piece of the puzzle that fits. You know, that I'm on a coaching journey, and there's a listen, my niche, I've had to change it 1,000 times because one didn't work, or I figured, wait a minute, this is what I do. This sounds more like it. I've had to change uh, the way I do my program. I've had to change several things because it just wasn't working. But that's the journey. And so if I wasn't in love with that journey, I'd be frustrated every moment and I'd give up. I would have already given up. And so what we're saying is it's not about giving up. It's about finding the piece of the puzzle that's going to fit. Because if it didn't work one way, it's going to work another way. So again, don't change the goal, change the plan.
Mm. That's deep right there. That's deep. Because again, it's not necessarily like the goal is too big, right? And sometimes we feel like if we don't achieve it in this certain amount of time frame, we think it's too big or it's impossible. First of all, nothing's impossible. Even the Bible talks about how nothing is impossible with God. Like nothing's impossible. Because again, what you think is impossible, people have been achieving it, right? You may think like, oh, starting a corporation or starting your own business is impossible, but there's plenty of people who do that every single day, right? You gotta think about you just gotta think about like how things in this world have came about. You think about people that's been in your position. Obviously, it's been done before, right? A lot of things that you think is impossible, it can be done. The only reason it's impossible is because it has not been seen by maybe people that's in your circle. Again, a part of making sure that you, when we talk about, watering the seed and giving it attention, a lot of that also comes with the foundation, right? With the right amount, like when you put a seed in the soil that's full of nutrients, it's also going to enhance the growth. So, what I mean by that is maybe sometime a part of your process, get you some folks that's on a whole nother level than some of the folks you around. Because a lot of the support that you get from people can determine how you go about the process. Because if you around, like I've always said, energy transfer is real. If you around negative people that's always saying, "Oh, that's not going to be it. You should just, give up on that dream and just go work for somebody or just, do this where it's considered safe." Right? First of all, nothing is safe. So, don't think that, "Oh, I'm doing this because it's safe." There's no such thing as being as safe. What you think is safe is actually a risk, right? Like when you working, you may think, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm investing in a 401k. That's safe." Yeah, right. Because what if that company go out of business? Then what you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? What you think is safe is somebody else's risk. Just think about it. When you work for somebody, you working off of somebody else's risk because that person would have thought like you wouldn't have a job. So again, if you want something to happen, if you want something extraordinary to happen, I suggest get around some people that's on a higher level of thinking, or people that's been able to get to where you want to be, and have them coach you, right? Just hire a boss, right? If you need somebody to help you stay accountable, just hire a boss. Because if you can go to work and you can do what your boss tell you to do every single day, then I feel like if you want to help achieve some of the goals that you have, just hire a boss. Hire somebody that can keep you accountable. Hire somebody that can show you, how to get there faster, right? Keep yourself accountable, right? And that's essentially that's what's going to take you far. Because if you give your seed the proper nutrients and the proper care that it needs, you're going to see it grow in a way that you will want it to see it. Because if you don't, like I said, like you go back to the, taking the actual plant, for example, if you go days without giving it the proper nutrients or giving it proper treatment, you're gonna see that it's not gonna grow all the way to its full potential. Like you trying to grow a flower, it's not going to grow into the flower that you want it to be because again, you may have given it too much sunlight, you may have not given it nutrients, maybe not changed out the soil or whatever. So again, you got to do that every single day with you and your dreams and your goals. You have to give it proper care, and you have to surround it with people that's going to give you that support to help you
I,
move forward.
I love how you said energy transfers. This is so true. You know, when you have people that are around you that haven't seen that vision or don't have the same goals as you do, energy can transfer. And I've known a lot of people who I have gone into because when I started coaching, who would tell me, "Oh, well, you need money." Because I would say, "Oh, geez, I don't know how, I'm going to cover my bills when I first started this journey." And then I thought, and I started thinking and researching and doing my end. And they were like, "Oh my God, you got to get a 9 to 5, 9 to 5, or you shouldn't have got into what you're getting into." And that's not the energy you want because that's not the energy that's going to get you anywhere. So that energy, remember, everybody has a different perception. We're not saying let go of them or don't be their friend anymore. What we're saying is get around folks, get yourself a mentor. Like Chris said, get yourself a mentor in what you do. Get accountability coach. Hi, that's what we're here for. We hold you accountable. Let's set up your goal. In 90 days, what do you want to be doing? Let's work on it. You know what I mean? What do you want to be doing after 3 months? And let's work on it. And I'll be your accountability coach. But the important part is to every single day water it. If you don't give yourself nutrients, your body starts to wither away. Literally, your body will start to shut down. The first thing to go is your mind. First thing to go is your mind. Because after that, after 3 days of not eating or not having any nutrients whatsoever, you start to hallucinate. So you want to water that. You want to water that and be consistent and persistent. And you want to just like if you are wanting that goal so bad, the first thing you've got to take care of is your inner environment. And that includes the folks who are in your inner environment. Your inner environment includes your beliefs, the energy you keep, and the self-talk you have. So those three things. And the energy, that includes the folks that are around because they create your energy as well. So if those three things aren't fed, then you're going to have a rough time trying to complete that goal. Those things need to be fed and in order for you to go forward because that includes sleep, that includes the way you talk to yourself, the friends you keep, that includes the habits that you're keeping, that includes everything. What habits are you keeping to get there? What are you changing to be able to get that goal to where it needs to be? So I mean, this is definitely something that I have to agree with. You have to look at what's in your inner environment. Is it giving you negative energy? And if it is, how do we change that?
Amen. Amen. There you go. So again, we coming up on 5 minutes. So, hopefully you guys took something away from this. And again, if you didn't take anything else away from this, just take this one thing. Make sure you give your dreams or your passions attention every single day. That's all we're trying to say. When we talk about watering the seed, give it a little something every day. Give it some energy. Because again, like I said, if you can give energy to somebody else, if you can have somebody else tell you what to do, and you can give that energy to working for somebody else, you can surely transfer that and do it for yourself. You see what I'm saying? So again, just think about that, man. So just think about that aspect of when we talk about growing the seed. Give it energy, give it some nutrients, give it time every single day, so it can be able to grow the way you want it to grow. But all right, man, that's a wrap for today's show. Again, just before we close out, definitely go check us out on Instagram. You can go check out Miss Sandra on Instagram at Complete Confidence Coaching. Right. I also tag her in my post that I put on my page. So again, follow her on there at Complete Confidence Coaching. Also follow me on Instagram at Disinfecting Your Life. That's no spaces, no capitals. Where you can always see the latest and greatest episodes that I put out there. And then also check out my link tree where it's got all my different links in there, such as the link to my book, Step Towards Your Purpose. Also has my merchandise. Also has the links to my channels such as Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. It has all that great stuff in there. And then also follow my other page at big.boss training. Again, that's at big.boss training. Like I told y'all, I'm working on my personal training. So again, if you guys are looking to get into shape, I definitely can help you out in terms of structuring a workout plan and also being able to give you some nutritional advice as well. So yeah, definitely go check me out. I got a lot of stuff going on, but we move with a purpose this year. Like I said, we move with a purpose. And
We
again,
sure are.
like I
We sure
said,
are.
man, I've had a great start to this year, and so hopefully you guys are too. Before I close out, Sandra, do you have any last final
No,
thoughts or
I
anything like
mean,
that?
the only thing I need to say is if y'all looking for an accountability coach, you got one
Mhm.
here. Like Chris said, just follow or DM me on Complete Confidence Coaching. I know one day that title is going to change, but look me up on Complete Confidence Coaching. DM me. We can sit down and talk for free to see where you want to go, what you need, what you would like to work on. And I think it's one of the best choices you'll ever make for your life. So follow me there, and even if you can't find me, DM Chris. He'll find me.
Yeah, there you go. You got
All
resources.
right.
You use your resources. All right. But that's a wrap for today's show. This your boy, Chris Simmons, coming alongside my partner in crime, Miss Sandra Cruz. We out. Take care,
Bye.
y'all. Peace.